everybody. This is Clay, the average gamer. And tonight I am going old school. And whenever I mean old school, these are some of the games that really got me into gaming back in the day. And so I wanted to be able to share these with you guys. And kind of what spurred up this whole, me wanting to do this whole commentary was the fact that I got in a conversation the other night with one of my friends that I game with quite a bit, Red Rum. And we were talking about old school games and how I really think that how gaming has changed over the years. I mean, from whenever I was a kid, I actually got in on probably the tail end of really the whole arcade era. And but it was something for me that, you know, gaming, it wasn't always as convenient as going back in the playroom and turning on the Nintendo and then just rolling with whatever cassette that you happen to put in the system. You know, it used to be the only time to game was whenever you went out to arcades, and the only thing to do actually growing up, we would all have birthday parties. There was one arcade in particular. It was called Aladdin's Castle, and basically it was just full of games, and all of the kids growing up that were my age, we would all have our birthday parties at Aladdin's Castle because that was kind of the place to go. And and if you didn't have your birthday party there, you were like shunned for the rest of the year because you didn't have your birthday party. Real quick, these are the light cycles, and the whole point in playing this game was to be able to actually do the light cycles. The rest of it was more of a pain, just simply for the fact that it wasn't the light cycles. So and there would be times that you would put a quarter in and you would never make it actually to the light cycles, and it was very disappointing. So that right there was the whole reason behind playing the games. The tanks, the spiders, the little cone thing was all irrelevant because it was all about the cycles. And alright, so anyway, back to what I was talking about, Aladdin's Castle. So that's where we all had our birthday parties, and that place was just exactly that. It was an arcade, and they probably had 100 different games in there, and you would go in. It was a lot like Chuck E. Cheese now minus the pizza. In fact, Chuck E. Cheese would probably be one of the last, or at least the closest thing that I could really think of that would be to an actual arcade that was back in the day, simply for the fact that they do have those games. And it's kind of the same basic principle. You have all these tokens and you run around like crazy and get jacked up on candy and Coca-Cola and play games until all the coins are gone. And so anyways, that was kind of what we did. And so a little bit about these games here. So the first one you're watching, this is Tron, and I kind of figured out what a lot of these games, they were done, it was a quarter to play, and you had 3 lives, and they basically lasted the entire time, as long as you could play. But one thing about it is the games, it didn't take long. They made the games really hard. It did not take long for you to use your 3 lives up and immediately have to feed another quarter in there can you either continue or to start the game completely over. This was one that the game, you lost your 3 lives, you started back from the beginning, and I don't know, it became addictive because the only thing you really wanted to play was the light cycles to begin with, and and so once you actually got the light cycles, the rest of it was just trying to play and pass in order to get to the next round of light cycles, which was kind of funny. The next game you're going to be looking at is one called Altered Beasts, and that probably was not nearly as popular, I think, as this game. I don't know. Some of you might know it and might have seen it, but it was actually one of the games I probably played the most. Growing up, they actually had one of the arcades out at the mall. These light cycles were like crazy. I had no chance. They were so incredibly fast, and it doesn't. Once you get to the 3rd round, it's just I don't know. It takes a lot of practice to get to that. So, anyways, this was Altered Beasts, and this was one of my favorite games growing up. And basically you start off as this person that this guy raises from the dead, and you are sent to rescue his daughter. And you kill these little white wolves, and the more that you kill, the bigger you get. So you kind of start off as a little puny weakling, and the more of these little glowing orbs that you get, the stronger and stronger and stronger you get, until you actually turn into a werewolf, or well, a beast. Depending on what level you are, it would depend on what beast is that you actually get turned into. And I probably fed weeks and weeks of my allowance into this game, actually playing it. And there I go, turning into the wolf. So at this point, I mean, these guys are, I mean, they're toast. I mean, once you actually turn into a beast, you can just waylay everybody. It's not even really a challenge anymore. And so yeah, I spent hours and hours playing this game, as well as I don't know, billions of dollars. That's the reason I'm not retired right now, is because of this game. Okay, that may have been a small, slight exaggeration, but you know, there's many other games that I used to play that really came from just these arcades, and I'm probably planning on bringing you at least some of them. But you know, Contra was a big one. There was a Star Wars game, and I haven't been able to find that one. There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one that I used to play back at Old School one. X-Men was one of the Old School ones that I used to play. A lot of them fighting games, and I guess this is really where my love for the fighting genre games actually came about. And you know, I actually discovered the Xbox Arcade just recently, and that's kind of what spawned this whole thing. I went through there and actually looked through every single game they offered, and purchased all the ones that I remember playing growing up. And so that's kind of what I'm bringing you here. Some of the Xbox Arcade games that I found that I really liked playing, and wanted to bring you guys, and really wanted to show you guys, you know, back in the day, these were the fun games. These were the ones that were big, and even though they look goofy, I mean, I'm sure some of you are like, "What in the world are you watching? This thing isn't even 3D." They've got I mean, this right here was high quality graphics back in the day. Like I was looking at some of them that I used to play, like Pitfall, and I mean, you know, I was little. And I remember playing these games and thinking, "Oh, this is awesome! This looks just like an Indiana Jones movie." Because I mean, it was back around that time, and I actually looked at it as I was going through these and picking out some of the games, and they had Pitfall. And I mean, the dude is seriously 4 blocks. He's just cubes glued together. They may have been a different color, but I don't remember him being. But whenever I was little, I was like, "Oh, dude, that's Indiana Jones there. That's the Pitfall guy." And these alligators, I mean, they are a spitting image of an alligator whenever there are just a bunch of ginormous cubes glued together. And anyway, so it's just funny to kind of see as the games have progressed, how you know, back in the day whenever this actually came out, how the graphics were just amazing, and then how cheesy they really kind of look now. It's funny to go back and look at that. But anyway, I've got just about another minute or so here, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this commentary. I know it's kind of been a little random and something you guys probably aren't used to seeing, some of these games. But if you liked it, I'd like to bring you some more of these games. Like I said, I downloaded a bunch of them off the Xbox Arcade, and if these things are something that you would be interested in seeing, just some of these old school games that I used to play, I'd be really happy to bring them to you. It was fun for me playing these and going back and putting this video together. So anyway, I guess this right here is Altered Beast. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys have enjoyed Tron. Until next time, guys, always feel free to rate, comment, or subscribe. Until next time, this is The Average Gamer, and I'm out. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.